This video will help secure your WordPress site by moving your config file away from its normal location where the bad people would look to mess with it. You see, your wp-config.php file contains some important settings that, if it falls into the wrong hands, can destroy your WordPress site. Now, since this involves a key file in the workings of your WordPress site, you need to first do a full backup of both your files and database just to be on the safe side. Now, as a second precaution, you might want to keep your server's control panel like cPanel or Plesk or whatever, or your FTP client open when testing your site after this adjustment, just in case, so if something goes wrong, you can put that file back in its original place. Okay, now that the public safety announcement is over, let's do this. Now, first off, I want to demonstrate that the site is working and that I have nothing up my sleeves. Now, here's the WordPress site that we're going to be making that adjustment on, and here is just a quick demonstration that the pages are working and that hopefully they will also work after we're done. Okay, now then, let's go ahead and bring the timer in here and get that going. Now I want to open up my FTP client, and again, you can do the same thing I'm going to be showing you here in your cPanel, control panel, Plesk, or whatever. And I'm going to go ahead and log in, and I'm going to log in securely so we can maintain that air of security. Now then, I'm going to navigate to the root directory of our WordPress installation. That's in the public_HTML file, at least ways for me. Oh, and by the by, this only works if you're not using a multiple site or the multi-site setup for your WordPress. So long as you have this in a single site setup and it's not in a subdomain, I know, I should have mentioned that earlier, huh? So long as it's not in a subdomain and that it's not a multi-site setup, then you're good to go. Okay, now that I'm in the root directory, let's go ahead and go on down and find our wp-config.php file. That's right here. I'm just going to left-click, hold, and let me move this up here first so that I can show you that this is our path right here to the public_HTML, and I'm going to put the wp-config file above, in this order, I'm going to put it above the public_HTML. So I'm going to put it in the same folder or directory that the public_HTML is in. I'm going to do that by just left click, holding, and dragging this on up and dropping it right in there. Now you see, it's no longer here. It is, in fact, if I click on this, and you can see that this is where the public_HTML is now that we used to have to get into to get to the config file. Well, if we scroll on down further, that's where the config file is. Now let's go ahead and check out our site just to make sure it's not broken. And refresh. Yay. Check out a page or two. Yay. And we're still in business. Now, when the bad guys try to find our config file by going to where it's normally located, they're not going to find it, and they're going to get discouraged and go on to the next person's site that is not as secure as this one. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on how you can lock down your WordPress site in less than 5 minutes. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. This video will show you how to help secure your WordPress site in less than 5 minutes by making it even harder for the hackers to break into your site. If your administrative login username is admin, then you are giving the hackers half their job when they try to break into your site. So we're going to get rid of that, and this will discourage most hackers, and they'll just simply move on to someone else's site that's not as safe as yours. And here's how we're going to do it. First off, we want to log into our administrative area, and we do that by putting the URL up here and then /wp-admin. And if you've logged in recently, then your browser might have saved that username and password. If not, then you'll get a little box up there that pops up where you have to put in your username and password. I'm going to go ahead and move my timer in here so I can show you this is going to be done in less than 5 minutes. Alrighty, come on over here to users. And basically, we're going to add another administrative account. We'll put in the username, email, of course, one you're going to be receiving the emails at, so it has to be a good email, first name, last name, and a very strong password. And it gives you the little strength indicator here and some hints on how you can create a real strong password. Then down here, we want to go to administrator. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in the blanks here. And again, make sure we've got the role set as administrator. Now then we want to log out and then log back in as that new person. Now then we want to come on back to users, go to all users, and you can see the one that we're logged into right now, there's no delete function. But under the other admin, the original one, there is. Simply click on delete, delete all posts, or attribute to the new guy, however you want to do that. Click on confirm deletion. And now then the old unsecure admin is no longer in existence. Take that, bad guys. And that is how you can help secure your WordPress site by getting rid of the admin as your username in your administrative login details. Thanks for watching, and you have a great day. You can have all the security features in place for your WordPress site, but if they are all on an infected server in your web hosting account, then your site can still get infected. Now, I don't mean to be a Debbie Downer here because this is the worst case scenario and may never happen, but you should plan for the worst and hope for the best. Now, with this in mind, it's best to plan on moving your sites to a VPS, that stands for Virtual Private Server, or a dedicated server as soon as your budget allows for it, as soon as you can afford it. Now, as far as starting out and using a shared hosting plan, like most of us do that are on a budget, there's a couple of questions you should ask the hosting company before you purchase an account from them. Number one, how often do you run malware scans on your servers? Not individual accounts, but on the servers that those accounts reside. And number two, do you do backups of your account? And if so, how often? And is it free? And if not, how much is this extra going to cost me? Now, there are plenty of other questions to ask in general, just like, say, how many domains can I have on my account? How many email accounts can I have? What's the bandwidth limitations, and so on. But most of these are actually spelled out on the hosting company's websites. So if you're wanting to save a ton of time and research, then you can contact a guy named Jim at tvcnet.com. Let me just show you here. That's tvcnet.com, and then it'll just redirect you to this site here. And you can use the phone number if you've got questions, and they've got a complete list here of all the different types of services that they offer, and the prices are very reasonable. The main kicker here is you've got the daily malware scan, and they also provide the backups. So definitely include tvcnet.com in your list of researching websites for your future hosting account. Now, once you've got your hosting setup taken care of and everything's all safe and secure, if you want to find out now what Google thinks of your site as far as it being infected or not, then here is a URL for you to check into. Let me just bring this over here. And you can just replace this www.example.com with your URL, like, for example, this right here, and I'll show you an example of what it's going to look like. I think that'll work. I don't think I need the www in front of mine. And just copy this and paste this in the address bar here. And this is the results of what you should get if your page is clean. What is the current listing status for your domain? And it'll tell you here if your site is listed as suspicious or not, and hopefully it's not suspicious, and so on. And there's a host of other goodies over at the Webmaster Tools that you can rely on to keep your site safe, secure, and indexed too. But that's a story for a different video. Now, if you already have a hosting company and do not want to move, then you might want to consider some type of site monitoring service. And you can set one up like what I'm about to show you, and it's free. Or there are free services and there are paid services that'll monitor your website on a constant basis. Now, both paid and free have their pros and cons, And you can do a search for website monitoring service and come up with a little over 150 million results. So there's no shortages of options to choose from here. But let's go ahead and look at a way that you can do this for free, and it's going to take less than 5 minutes to set up. And this is called Google Alerts for Malware. So what you want to first figure out is a list of all the keywords that you want Google to alert you about if they happen to pop up on your site. For example, if your WordPress site has nothing to do whatsoever with pharmaceuticals, and you want to be alerted the first time that something ends up on your site having to do with Cialis or Viagra or porn or any other type of keyword that you know you didn't have anything to do with putting on your site and it shows up there, if you want to be alerted to that, here's how you do it. Let me go ahead and pull in my handy dandy little timer here, set at 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and start this off. Now we want to head over to Google Alerts, and I believe it's google.com alerts/alerts. I believe. Yes, it is. And here's the search query that we want to put in there. You want to put in site:/yourdomain.com or whatever your domain is. And then you want to put in a space and then the keywords that you want to search for. Let me just show you that on this text document here. Right here. This is what you want to put in. Site:/yourdomain. Replace this with your actual domain if it's .info, .com, .org, whatever. Space, then the keyword you want to search for, and then a space, then the word or, space, another keyword. So for example, Cialis, space, or, space, Viagra, space, or, space, whatever else you want to put in there that you want to be alerted about. And then once you do that, let's get this out of the way here, then you want to result type. I'd say everything. And you can always come back and adjust this later if you're just getting too much information. Hopefully you won't get any information. That's the goal here. How often? I'd say at least once a day. And because remember, this is free, so why not? How many? Only the best results? I'd say all results. And then your email address that you want the alerts to be sent to. Then click on Create Alert, and you're good to go. Now, if you have several alerts in here, because maybe you're fluent with Google Alerts, then you can go here to Manage Your Alerts to go in and edit any alerts that you have set up, or to see if you need to make any adjustments on any of those current alerts you've got already created. And there you go. You see, you're able to do this site monitoring for free in under 5 minutes. And that's going to bring us to the end of this video on site monitoring and web hosting the secure way. Thanks for watching. You have a great day.